Hey everybody, welcome to Matt's Metal Show, and today we're gonna go over the massive 28 fucking album discography from none other than Alice fucking Cooper. Alice Cooper! The godfather of shock rock, right? Alice Cooper. He's been around for a long, long time. His first album came out when it was the Alice Cooper Band. Came out in 1969, the year I was born. And he's been around ever since. Alice Cooper Band lasted until about 73. And then he went on his own, came out with some people would say the seminal Alice Cooper album, Welcome to My Nightmare. And Vincent Price on it. Alice. Always got that stage show where he's getting decapitated. He's got a bunch of monsters walking around and shit like that. Always puts on a spectacular show. I saw him a couple years ago open for Motley Crue. And kind of a head scratcher. Why is Alice opening for Motley Crue? Because he actually sings. His band actually plays music, and he can actually still sing. And he's a fucking legend. So, it's kind of crazy. Meanwhile, Motley Crue comes out. Vince Neil can't sing. He weighs like 300 pounds. He's like, oh. They're playing backing tracks. They got fucking background music playing. Yeah. Anyways. Alice. Wasn't hugely into Alice Cooper when I was a kid. I mean, we would see Alice Cooper. You would see him on the Muppet Show, where he had the little radio and he was talking to Satan. That was around 75. Yeah, I think he did Welcome to My Nightmare actually on the show. So, Alice was a boozer and a drug addict, and wow. That guy is lucky he is still alive. There's a section of albums from 1980 to 1983, and Alice calls those his blackout albums. Those are albums he doesn't even remember making those fucking albums. And when you listen to them, you could kind of understand why. But some of the stuff on there is still pretty fucking cool. It started with Flush the Fashion in 1980, and then Special Forces, Zipper Catch a Skin, and then ended with DaDa. And Alice says, he has no recollection of those fucking albums. Some of them I like, and some of them I don't. But if you go online and watch, there's a fucking, it's like Tom Snyder. Motherfucker. Boop. Block. Fuck you! Fucking idiots. There's a Tom Schneider show, and it had to be around, I think it was Special Forces. It was Special Forces. So it was around 1981, where Alice does a couple songs on the show, and then they're talking to him, and you should fucking see him. I mean, by this time, he's fucking smoking crack and shit. He's weighs 6 pounds, and he's totally just unrecognizable. Fucking crazy to see that shit. Crazy that there wasn't somebody in his life that was dude, what the fuck? Dude, they're just fucking letting him kill himself. He's twacked out of his fucking skull. Watch that interview. It's fucking crazy. It's he's got a riding crop, and he's wearing this army jacket and a beret, and his face is gone. It's sucked in so much that he's and he's just all crazy, and he's it's like watching Bowie all coked out of his skull on the Dick Cavett show, where he's all twacked out on cocaine, and he's just all fucking doing weird shit. Some of the guys would just do cocaine and they would be like, yeah, but fucking Alice Cooper took it to that next fucking level. When he came out with that album, From the Inside, that was his like experience in a fucking mental institution. Because back in like the 70s, if you were like a fucking hardcore boozer, they didn't really like send you to Betty Ford. They threw you in a fucking mental institution to try and get your ass cleaned up. And that was like the kind of the snapshot. It was a snapshot of what Alice went through when he went to rehab. But it wasn't really rehab back then. It was like, dude, you're in Bellevue, you know. Here you go, and you're not in there with just like alcoholics. You're in there with fucking crazy people, like murderers and shit. People that fucking ate their children and shit like that. So, and you know that was '78, and a lot of the guys from the Elton John band helped out with that. That was like actually the best Elton John album that Elton wasn't on. You know, Davy Johnstone and shit was on there. It was crazy, man. I think, yeah, and I think fucking Bernie Taupin fucking wrote the lyrics or helped him or some shit like that. Yeah, so we'll look it up, but we'll get to it. Alice, you know, and then you thought, oh, maybe Alice is clean now because he went through the. No, fuck no. That was like the fucking start off point where he was like, okay, well, I won't drink a bottle of whiskey today. I'll put that aside. Anybody got any crack? Let's fucking smoke crack. And that's what Alice did. Alice went into this fucking like 4-year fucking bender. And then he disappeared. After DaDa came out, I don't even think he toured on DaDa. He just disappeared. And then like 3 years later, Constrictor came out. And everybody was like, oh, Alice Cooper's still alive? It had like Teenage Frankenstein. It had the fucking Man Behind the Mask, Jason Voorhees song, and it was kind of like Alice Cooper rejuvenated. You know, he has the snake, and all of a sudden everybody was like, I remember when it came out, and you know, it was like an MTV kind of thing. It was like, oh, fuck, Alice Cooper's still alive, and then we were like, hey, he looks kind of good, you know, like I mean, he looks like Alice Cooper, but he doesn't look like that fucker that was on the Tom Schneider show a couple years ago. Fucking just, you know, looked like a fucking dude that was dying of cancer. And then that kind of started like the, you know, I don't think Alice was huge after that, but he did garner some attention. Did Raise Your Fist, did Trash, and then Trash was the album where all the song doctors and shit started helping out. It was like, oh, you know, let's try and make Alice Cooper huge. They had like Steven Tyler and fucking Joe Perry on that, which is like the worst fucking song on that album. Ugh. Fucking hate that song. Did a Stoopid at 1 billion fucking people. Joe Satriani played on that fucking album. You know, we had like Kane Roberts played on some of the middle ones. Like in the 80s where, you know, the big dude, big buff dude, dressed like Rambo. And I can tell you as a kid, I saw them. I want to tell you I saw them on it was either on Constrictor or Raise Your Fist. I remember it was one of the few shows that I went to the sports arena where it was like half arena, where it was like they pushed the stage all the way to like the halfway point because they really couldn't fit it. You know, they couldn't sell enough tickets to fill that up. But I remember seeing them, and I remember for a lot of years I had utter disdain for like Kane Roberts. I thought he was a bullshit guitar player, and on top of that, he was dressed like John Rambo. But now, you know, now that I've mellowed with age, it was kind of cool. Some of the stuff that he did, it was totally ludicrous and fucking like cliche, but at the same time, it was fun. It was Alice Cooper, you know. And then he kind of goes into the middle years where, you know, some of his heaviest fucking albums like Brutal Planet and Dragon Town are just mauling. And then in the last couple of years, it's kind of been like, did a reunion with the guys who are still alive from the Alice Cooper band. You know, Glenn Buxton's dead, but Michael Bruce and Dennis Dunaway and Neil Smith, those guys are still alive. So he did some kind of reunion shit with them on like Welcome to My Nightmare. And the last album that he came out was this year. So Detroit Stories. He had a bunch of help from his friends. And some of those are pretty cool. So Alice Cooper, man, let's get into it because this is a huge discography. So I'm going to kind of burn through some of this stuff fast because there is some of the stuff on the backside of this are not my favorite albums. So we'll cover them quickly. But the ones that I do love, we'll probably go into more depth. So let's start it off with some Alice Cooper, also known as Vincent Furnier, in case anybody ever wanted to know. Now, when I was a kid, there was all this mystique about Alice Cooper, and Alice Cooper was this witch that was burned at the stake and blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. They came out with the name Alice Cooper because it sounded like innocuous, like it was like Alice Cooper. And it was a chick's name, but it was a band of dudes. And then, they were fans of like Betty Davis movies, like What Happened to Baby Jane, where she had that caked ass makeup on and her dark fucking eyeliner and shit, and Barbarella and, the Avengers, shit like that. So that's what they tried to do. They tried to be outrageous. They had, just all this crazy stuff. Now, in the beginning, it didn't really work. When they were unsigned, they were trying to be outrageous. Most people just fucking hated them. But then they had some incident where Alice Cooper had a chicken and he threw it off the stage, and he thought because it had fucking wings that it would fly. Well, we all know chickens can't fucking fly. I mean, they can kind of a little bit, but they're not like taking off like a fucking hawk. So the thing ended up like, I guess, where the people in the wheelchairs were, and then the people in the crowd just tore this fucking thing apart. So suddenly the rumor's going around that Alice Cooper bit this thing's head off and he drank its blood on stage. That was the rumor. And Frank Zappa called him up and he was like, dude, did you fucking do that shit? And Alice was like, no, I didn't do that. And then he goes, well, don't tell anybody that you didn't. Because that was fucking urban legend. And there's a lot of urban legends about Alice, and especially about Frank. So they ended up getting hooked up on Frank Zappa's label, and like Pretty's for You. And so, let's start it off with number 28, 1969's Pretty's for You. That was a nice segue, wasn't it? Like, fuck it, we're talking about it. We might as well talk about that album. Pretty's for You is the first Alice Cooper band album called Alice Cooper. It's on Frank Zappa's label. It was not astonishing. It's not one that I ever fucking reached for. It's just weird. It sounds like Alice Cooper trying to be Frank Zappa. There's a lot of jangly, weird, and just little stupid songs, 10 minutes before the worm, sing low, sweet Cheerio. It's just an album that it had nothing really to do with the Alice Cooper band or anything that they did kind of going forward. It was just experimental, trying to be outrageous, trying to dress like chicks and do weird shit on stage and try and get a reaction from people. And it didn't work. So my least favorite fucking Alice Cooper album is Pretty's for You from 1969, number 28. Number 27 is the second Alice Cooper album from 1970. It's called Easy Action. Here they start to move forward. They start to become what they're going to become, but they still didn't make it. Had that red album cover, like the front picture is like their backs with their long hair. Mr. and Miss Demeanor is probably, like, when you listen to that track, it's like close to what the Alice Cooper band would become. At once Alice left the Alice Cooper band, or they disbanded, then Alice kind of took a turn into vaudeville. But this album's not awesome either. Uh, Below Your Means, Return of the Spiders. You know, they were totally into fucking Ziggy Stardust, right? The Spiders from Mars? No. Were they? No. Were they? No, because that was before Ziggy Stardust, right? Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, boom. The Spiders. The Spiders just sounded cool. Right? Where were the spiders? They did move to guide us. Maybe Bowie stole it from them. Because Ziggy Stardust didn't come out until what? What year did Ziggy Stardust come out? 1972, right? Still fighting that cough. And it's a darn fine one. Anyways, Easy Action. It was a glimpse of fucking where Alice Cooper would finally start moving. Because the next album, you know, it became like an Alice Cooper album where you could like go, oh, this is fucking Alice Cooper band. No one called it the Alice Cooper band. They just called it Alice Cooper, but it was a band. Wow. All right. Number 26, we're going to go Zipper Catches Skin. Zipper Catches Skin is the 1982, right? It's the third album in that Blackout album period where fucking Mr. Fournier is fucking smoking crack on a regular basis. And people are like watching him do this. There's there's reports that were like he's in the studio and then he would go behind this curtain and like smoke crack and everybody fucking knew what he was doing. He's fucking this guy. If you even saw him, you're like. But the weird thing about it is he's still, even though he's cracked out of his fucking skull and he looks like he's fucking dying, he he would still come out with some funny stuff. He's still, his mind, his twisted, weird mind would still kind of work. There's a song called Make That Money, Scrooge's song. That's about the only song on the album where I said, yeah. There's No Baloney Homo Sapiens on here. Remarkably Insincere is kind of fun. I like Girls, but this is utter nonsense, you know? And it's kind of, it started with Flesh to Fashion, and then DaDa went a little kind of, I don't know what DaDa you could call it, but with Flesh to Fashion, there was a kind of like a punkiness to it. There was a kind of a new wave to it. And that kind of continued on into these albums. DaDa was a little different than the first three, because I think DaDa, by that time, he was fucking comatose, and he had no fucking idea where the fuck he was. But this album is just like, it's not good. It's fucking fun to listen to because knowing what I know about it, it's more fun to listen to because you're just like, let's listen to a dude that's just twacked out of his fucking skull. Zipper Catches Skin. The lyrics are nonsense, dude. And some of it works and some of it doesn't. The music's not awesome. It's just not good. So that's Alice Cooper, number 26, Zipper Catches Skin. Number 25, this will shock some people, but not. It shouldn't if you love Alice Cooper. I'm going to go 1973's Muscle of Love. This was the final Alice Cooper album. Like, Glenn Buxton was, like, put on the album cover, or put on the credits, you know, to have that paper cover, you know, was supposed to be like, what's in here, you know, this carton contains one Alice Cooper Muscle of Love. Glenn Buxton didn't play on this album. Glenn Buxton was fucked up. He had drugs, drugs and alcohol played a big part in his life. He's dead now. He died in '87, but I think Dick Wagner played on this album. Pretty sure. No, Michael Bruce played on the album, but I think it was Dick Wagner and who was it? Mick Moshburger? Yeah. Those guys, I don't know if I think it was uncredited, but you could tell, when the weird thing about this is right after $1 Billion Babies, like in the same year as $1 Billion Babies, and those albums are like night and day. Crazy Little Child's a cool song, and the title track is cool. People like Teenage Lament 74, but I don't. Man with the Golden Gun. Alice Cooper trying to write a fucking James Bond track. And I think that's a true story, right? He tried to write a James Bond track, on his own, and then he, submitted it, and they were like, Big Apple Dreamin', Hippo. I mean, to me, this is one of my least favorite albums from Alice Cooper. I never reached for it. It's just, this was the destruction of the Alice Cooper band. This was the last shot before Alice took off and went solo. Because everybody was, you're the band. Alice, you're the only one that's important. Those guys aren't important. You can get somebody else. And he did. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm Alice Cooper now. And that's what happened. So, Muscle Love, number 25, not exciting. It's really not. A lot of people love this fucking next album. Number 24, I'm going to go Trash from 1989. People will be like, what? Especially MTV kids, they'll be like, what? Okay, Poison's cool, and Spark in the Dark is cool. House on Fire is bullshit. Why Trust You is kind of cool. And then it gets to Only My Heart Talkin'. And that's the song he does with Joe Perry and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Listen to that fucking song. This is fucking Alice Cooper sings fucking Aerosmith. Was it the same year that fucking Pump came out? Yeah, it is. This album is fucking bullshit. So, I don't really like, if you guys have ever watched my channel or watched my previous shows, don't forget to subscribe and leave motherfucking comments! I don't really like that era of music because I lived there. I lived it. That era of music where they started just bringing in song doctors like Diane Warren, Desmond Child, Jim Valance. Who was that guy from the Hudson? Mark Hudson. There's all kinds of fucking these song doctors that were trying to pump out the hits for the kiddies back in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, and then early 90s. Permanent Vacation, Pump. I mean, I like those albums, but they're bullshit. They're not Aerosmith. They're fucking corporate fucking bullshit Aerosmith. Make you look good on MTV. That was about the only thing that was important. And, that kind of started to filter into Alice Cooper. He came out with Constrictor, and then he came out with, Raise Your Fist, and then he came out with this album, and this is probably the lamest MTV metal album. I don't really like much on it. First two songs, and even Poison and Spark in the Dark, they're, corporate, but I can stomach them. But that song he does with the fucking Aerosmith guys is fucking garbage. Ugh. Fucking hate that shit. Hell is Living Without You. I'm Your Gun. Ugh. Trash. The title track, it's alright. Nothing stellar. So that's number 24 is Trash from 1989. Just, to me, when artists started to lose it, then let them fucking lose it. Alice Cooper had been through hell and back, and he was still around, and Constrictor was good, and even Raise Your Fist was good, and then all of a sudden, oh, let's fucking polish you up with these fuckers and like see if we can make another huge, comeback star like Aerosmith. And it's like, fucking stop. Number 23. We're going to go The Eyes of Alice Cooper from 2003. I remember getting this album. There's some cool songs. Detroit City is a good fucking song. This House is Haunted is a cool song. The song that didn't rhyme is fun. If you listen to that, it's totally funny. Sometimes Alice, when he's being Alice, sometimes he like trips himself up because he goes too dumb. And then sometimes when he just reels it back a little bit, it's fucking clever. It's fucking funny. But there's a lot of times where you're like, between high school and old school, Man of the Year, Novocaine. This is it's a solid album. There's nothing bad on it, but it's not one that I reach for a lot. It's just kind of middle of the road fucking Alice Cooper. So the same can be said of number 22, Dirty Diamonds, which is the album right after this. Dirty Diamonds, same thing. Like, there's a couple of cool songs on here. I like Dirty Diamonds. I like Run Down the Devil. Your Own Worst Enemy's alright. Zombie Dance is cool. Sunset Babies all got rabies. That's kind of stupid. It's funny though. Some of the songs that he does are just so fucking funny, and then some of the ones that he does, you're just like, Jesus. The saga of Jesse Jane. This is a cool, like I said, it's another just solid middle of the road Alice Cooper album. It's nothing stunning. It didn't do anything. It never does. There's some fun moments. Nothing to retch over, but there's some fun stuff on here. And that's what I like about Alice Cooper is, like, I don't have to be too serious. I can get an Alice Cooper album, and if it's really good, then cool. But I don't really go in with any expectations that I'm going to be, like, blown away. So, like, these middle of the road, like, early 2000 albums, I wasn't expecting shit. And some of them really fucking surprised me. Like Brutal Planet and Dragon Town, they really fucking surprised me. And then ones like this, like, Dirty Diamonds or The Eyes of Alice Cooper, they're alright. So, that was number 22. Dirty Diamonds. Number 21 was the album that started the Blackout fucking album. Alice Cooper, Flush the Fashion. It said Alice Cooper 80. Because, going into 1980 was a big deal, right? It starts off with Talk Talk, which is a cool song. And then it's got Clones, We All Are. This is a kind of new wavy, kind of punk, kind of quick songs. They're 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Nothing massive. There's not a song in here. There's only one song over 4 minutes on here. That's Pain. But like Leather Boots is 136, These are just quick songs, weird lyrics. Alice Cooper twacked out of his fucking skull. It's not as bad as Zipper Catches Skin, but it's the beginning of that. So, it was mind-boggling. I mean, you go from... Fuck, man. Where do you go from? You go from the Inside, which was genius in its own way, You go from that to this, and you're in like 2 years. So you're like, what happened? Well, New Wave started to hit. Punk was still around, kind of started to, wane by 80. So Alice decided, fuck it, let's do something different. He was always a showman. He was always trying to look for that next gimmick. And so he put this album out. There's nothing on here that I fucking love. Well, Talk Talk's alright. Dance Yourself to Death. It's cool. It's not something I reach for. Most of the time, it's kind of annoying. So, Flesh of Ashes number 21. Number 20 is Special Forces, the album that's followed that, right? Yep. And like I said, that's the album. Go on YouTube and look up Alice Cooper 1981. Look up the Tom Schneider fucking show where he's on. If you want to see Alice Cooper, like, even the picture on the cover of the album, what the fuck? Like, that's him. That's really him. He looks like a fucking corpse they dug up that's like half rotted. It's fucking crazy. Prettiest Cop on the Block's a fun song. Don't Talk Old to Me. Vicious Rumors is good. And look at you over there ripping the sawdust out of my teddy bear. That's actually a fun song. If you listen to that, like, it's the very last song on the album. I just listened to that not too long ago, like a couple of minutes ago. And, dude, that's what's so demented about these fucking albums. That's what kind of makes it fun. That's because, like, now we can look and say, well, he survived. He's 73 years old. This was fucking 30 years ago. Almost 40 years ago. You know, next year will be the 40th anniversary of this fucking album. So Alice survived, so we can kind of look back now and kind of chuckle and kind of listen and kind of hear the fucking madness that was going on in this fucking cracked out fucking lunatic's fucking mind. And look at you over there, Terrence, ripping the sawdust out of my teddy bear. It's fucking weird, man. But it's fun. I like it. So. Number 20 is Special Forces. Number 19, I'm going to go with the album that just came out, Detroit Stories from 2021. That's a cool fucking album. It's got a bunch of guesties on it. Supposedly, like, they were like, oh yeah, everybody on here's from Detroit. The weird thing about it is they cover a Velvet Underground song, and they're from New York, so that's weird. Go Man Go's good. Social Debris is good. $1,000 High Heel Shoes is a fun song. Hail Mary's a good song. Detroit City 2021 is a cool song. I Hate You, Wonderful World, and East Side Story. Those are my favorites off the album. There's 15 songs on here. In the latter period, Alice, perhaps he comes out with a bit too many songs, like everybody else. You know, it's like, dude, leave it to 8 or 9 really good songs. I know you're trying to fill up. Well, now you're not trying to fill up a CD, right? Because it's fucking most of it's digital. So fuck, dude, you don't need to get crazy. Sometimes, man, you're just like, what? There's still 4 more songs to go. But the very last track's actually a really cool fucking song. So I dig that. Detroit Stories. It's fucking 2021 Alice Cooper. It's like AC/DC's Power Up. It's like Senjutsu from Maiden. It's just like, you know, look, it's like Alice Cooper's still around. I'm going to buy his fucking album because it's fun to listen to. And what else do I have to do, you know? So, it's fun, man. I totally dug that. So, Detroit Cities is 19, 20, 21. Number 18, we're going to go to that album in 1977 where Alice decided to do like a little concept album about like, he's a detective. It's like noir. It's like suddenly he's like Humphrey fucking Bogart. Yeah, it's called Lace and Whiskey from 1977. At first, I didn't get this album when it came out. I was fucking 7. You know, this album came out the year Star Wars came out, for Christ's sakes. This is one of those albums that I didn't listen to for a lot of years, and then I finally like went through and kind of fleshed out my Alice Cooper discography, and it was a pleasant surprise. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 4 really cool songs on here, and then everything else is all right. It's Hot Tonight as the opener. Now this is really vaudeville kind of I'm wearing a fucking trench coat, smoking a cigar with a snub nose 38 kind of shit. It's Hot in Here is good. Road Rats, King of the Silver Screen, because it's all about like the silver screen, I never wrote those songs. Is the other good song. But he does You Bangy Stomp on here. You Bangy Stomp, which we all know. Didn't Stray Cats do that? I'm pretty sure they did. Oh, yeah. Do-do-do. Lace and whiskey. Do-do-do. We all know. Who wrote that? Yeah, Charles Underwood wrote You Bangy Stomp. Cover tune, the American Rockabilly song, written by Charles Underwood and first released on record by Warren Smith in 1956. Woo! Alice was going way back. Well, so were the Stray Cats. So, Lace and Whiskey, it's cool. You could like put on Who Framed Roger Rabbit and watch Alice, being a detective and talking about old fucking war movies. It's a cool album. I didn't mind it. There's, four or five cool songs on here. Kind of, woo, yeah. What's the next one? Number 17. I'm going to go Welcome to My Nightmare. And that was Welcome to My Nightmare Part 2 from 2011. Who knew? This is when I met Alice. I met him. He was super nice. I remember I walked up to him. We're at the NAMM show, and some years at the NAMM show, they'll just let you put like Matt on your badge. Because the NAMM show is closed to the public. You can't just get in there. You can't just walk in. It's not like Comic-Con. You got to know someone. But one year they made us put our actual full name. And so the year that I met Alice was the year I had my Matthew badge on. It said Matthew. And I remember I walked up to him. And the first words out of Alice Cooper's mouth are, Matthew, that's a nice biblical name. Okay. And I was like, gee, Alice, were you supposed to say something fucking evil to me? But no, he's like, hey, Matthew, that's a nice biblical name. But we all know Alice Cooper's a born-again Christian. He's been off drugs and alcohol for however many years. And he's an all-around kind of a cool, nice dude. He does a lot of weird shit on stage, but overall, he's a fucking nice guy. So, yeah, I remember that. I was just kind of like, but he was super cool. I'll put a picture up. Me and Alice. But I remember getting this album. I listened to it a couple times, and then I was like, there are certain songs that just totally fucking popped for me. The Nightmare Returns is a cool song. This is a funny one, but Disco Bloodbath Boogie Fever is a fucking cool song. Disco Bloodbath Boogie Fever. Good fucking song. Oh, When Hell Comes Home. That's a fucking great song. What Baby Wants, and he does a duet with Kesha, that chick that sings We Are Who We Are, I fucking love that song. It's so good. What Baby Wants. I'm not singing a lot today because my voice is shot out, and every time I fucking sing, like, it does that. Maybe in the top 10 I'll sing the songs. Woo! I'm a blueberry. What Baby Wants is fucking phenomenal. And then the Underture is fucking cool. And this was the album, I want to say, boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. No, it's not. Dick Wagner played on this. Wow. It's a pretty solid album. For 2011, it's Alice Cooper, dude. But there's like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 cool songs. There's a shit ton of songs on here. It's like 18 songs, but some are from the Download Festival live. I think it ends with Under the Bed was like 15, but this is supposed to be like part 2 of Welcome to My Nightmare, which actually it's really not part 2 to Welcome to My Nightmare because it would be technically be part 3, right? Because if we all know, the Last Temptation album was like kind of technically part 2, so this would be part 3. So I don't know. It's confusing. He uses the same character, Steven, on Welcome to My Nightmare, Last Temptation, and this album. So, anyways, it's a cool album. It's nothing stellar, but then again, what brand new Alice Cooper albums are absolutely mind blowing? None. So. Welcome to my nightmare. Ooh, see? Not singing today. Speaking of The Last Temptation, that's going to be number 16 from 1994. And The Last Temptation, this is another one of those albums that I really kind of, there's that middle period Alice Cooper that I kind of like lost track of him for a while. And it probably started with Trash. I think it started with Trash, and so there's like Trash Forward. No, maybe Hey Stoopid was probably the last one, and then after that, like there was kind of some middle years where I kind of just Alice Cooper, But this is a pretty cool album. It's supposed to be, it's not officially the continuation of Welcome to My Nightmare, but it's the main character is Steven. And we all know Steven was from Welcome to My Nightmare. So this is kind of like a continuation. It's the Last Temptation of Steven. I don't know. Sideshow opens the album and it's pretty cool. Nothing's Free is a really fucking good song. Lost in America is a fucking great song. Bad Place Alone is a fucking great song. Chris Cornell wrote a couple of songs on there, and he played on here. And Unholy, one of the songs that he wrote with Alice, is a fucking really good song. Cleansed by Fire, the last song, that's a cool song too. So this is a tight album. Like I said, Chris Cornell wrote some songs with Alice, and not bad at all. Who's that other guy? The other guy. The guy from Icon played on here too. Ooh, how exciting. This is a pretty fucking solid album. This is one of those albums that I was kind of pleasantly surprised, because there's some of those middle albums where you put it on and it's like, it's cool. But this one actually had some songs that like popped out at me and went, oh! So yeah, Last Temptation is going to be number 16. Number 15 is going to be Along Came a Spider from 2008. Along Came a Spider is a concept album about this serial killer named Spider, and he's giving you kind of clues, and it's kind of really fucking evil, and it's kind of cool. I think it started on Alice Cooper's radio show, the concept, and then it kind of ended up on this album. He does a song with Ozzy called Wake the Dead. It's okay. Vengeance is Mine is really fucking good. And Catch Me If You Can's fucking good. There's some cool fucking songs on here. It's a flowing album. It works. It's not a huge, long concept album. Well, there's fucking 11 songs on it. But it's cool. It's creepy. It's fucking Alice Cooper, man. It's song about a fucking album about a fucking serial killer named Spider. But I dig it, and it's definitely worth a fucking listen. What's next? We're gonna go number 14, 2017's Paranormal. Newer Alice Cooper album. It's the one where he's on the cover and he has 2 heads. This album's really fucking solid. It is. It's really fucking solid. Yeah, this is a fucking solid ass album. And this is the album where some of the boys from the old Alice Cooper band came and played. So you got Dennis Dunaway on bass and Roger Glover even played. Billy Gibbons played on this album. Bob Ezrin does production, of course, because he was always good with Alice. Neil Smith plays drums on one track. Steve Hunter's on this album. Wow, there's a bunch of fucking people on this album. Yeah. It starts out with Paranormalt. It's a great song. Dead Flies is a great song. Fireball is a great song. Paranoiac Personality is a great song. Dynamite Road. This album, I was blown away, really, by this album. And typically, you don't get blown away by an Alice Cooper album unless, for me, it's like some of the earlier stuff. But like this album, like, dude, I put it on. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I fucking love this. I love that song. Fuck, I love that song. Holy Water, Rats, The Sound of A, Genuine American Girl. There's a bunch of live tracks on here. This is a fucking solid album, and we got a couple of tracks where, you know, the original guys from the Alice Cooper band jump on board. You know, wrote a couple songs with them. So, wow, for 2017, this was a solid fucking amazing Alice Cooper album. And it was weird because I remember every time an Alice Cooper album comes out, I see it, and then I go, and then there's a point where I go, okay, I'm going to fucking order it. And that was the same with Paranormal, and the same with Detroit Stories, and even the same with Welcome to My Nightmare. Like, they were out, I saw them, and then like a couple months later, I'll go, okay, fuck it. I need to hear some Alice, right? So, yeah, fucking Paranormal. It's a fucking tight-ass album. So, number 14. Number 13, people, I don't know if people be shocked by this, but they shouldn't be. If you're an Alice Cooper fucking fan, you shouldn't be shocked by this. But 1972, School's Out. Some people are like, oh, that's a masterpiece. And you're like, is it? Is it fucking really? It's got School's Out, which we all know, and it's a fucking great song. It's got Looney Tune, which is another great fucking song. And then after that, it's Gutter Cat versus the Jets, and Alma Mater, Public Animal number 9, Blue Turk. I mean, there's nothing on here that blows me away except for like the first 2 tracks. Obviously, it's a classic Alice Cooper band fucking album, but I mean, if you compare this to some of the other stuff that they did, it's not awesome. It's really not. It's not. So that's my number 13, School's Out. Number 12, I'm going to go Hey Stoopid. Hey Stoopid! Hey Stoopid is a trip because Joe Satriani plays on a good chunk of this fucking album. And Steve Vai plays on it. Nikki Sixx is on here. I think Mick Mars wrote a fucking song. This is kind of that middle period right after fucking Trash where they kept going and he had all these. Alice Cooper became kind of a novelty act, kind of like everybody guessed on Alice's album. It has Feed My Frankenstein, which we all know is in the Wayne's World fucking movie. I love that fucking song. It's such a good song. Little by Little's a great fucking song. Snakebite's good. Hey Stoopid, the title track, it's alright. Wind Up Toy. There's some dark moments on here. This is MTV Alice Cooper kind of bullshit, but at the same time, I liked it a lot more than I liked fucking Trash. Trash to me just felt like it was insulting me. I mean, Slash played on here. Ozzy sang backing vocals on Hey Stoopid, which was funny because you're like, oh, did he? Mick Mars plays on one track with Nikki plays on Feed My Frankenstein. Wow. Who produced this bad boy? Peter Collins, of course. Peter Collins. And Peter Collins did Gary Moore, he did Bon Jovi, he did Billy Squier, Rush, Air Supply, Nick Kershaw, Suicidal Tendencies, Queensryche, Indigo Girls. This guy's been all over the fucking place. This was a pretty cool fucking album. Al Pitrelli wrote some songs on here. Yeah, wow. Alice had a lot of help from a lot of fucking people on this album. Yeah. Jesus. But yeah, what's the Desmond Child song? Dangerous Tonight. How funny, because I don't like that fucking song. Oh! What's the Nikki Sixx? Die For You is the Nikki Sixx, Jim Valance, Mick Mars fucking song. So you got Desmond Child on this album, and you have Jim Valance on the album. Then you got Peter Collins, who was the producer on what? Hold Your Fire from Rush, which is one of my least favorite Rush outings. Ooh, I got some good light. Ooh. Maybe I should I don't know. My lighting is always shit. And I refuse to get some fucking lights and blind my fucking self. I can't see for shit anyways. I'd be wearing glasses right now, but I'm not. My vanity knows no fucking bounds. This is a cool album. Probably up there a little higher than everything else that came before it because I love fucking Feed My Frankenstein. It's a great fucking song. It's dumb as fuck and it's awesome. Feed my Frankenstein, hungry for love and it's feeding time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where he's like, watch my tattoos melt in the heat. I don't think Alice has any tattoos, does he? I don't think so. He's a fucking old man. Plays the fuck out of golf, though. Wow! Alice is a really good golfer. Lives in Phoenix, right? With Rob Halford from Judas Priest. And Dave Mustaine used to live there, but he moved to Tennessee like a weirdo. All right. So we got Hey Stoopid. Number 11 is the final Blackout album from 1983. It's called DaDa. And most people probably have never heard this fucking album. I don't think Alice has fucking heard this album. But the thing is, this is actually a really cool fucking album. It's got that weird cover on it where if you stand back, it looks like a fucking face but when you look up close, it's like people. It's one of the, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's weird looking. It's kind of like that lame ass Def Leppard album where they have the chick and if you step back, it looks like a skull. So I had to throw that lame ass Def Leppard album out. The opening track is DaDa. It's alright, but it's got Enough's Enough. It's got Formerly Warmer. It's got Scarlet and Sheba. It's got I Love America, and it's got Pass the Gun Around. Those are fucking really good songs. It's got No Man's Land and Dyslexia. This is like the first three Blackout albums were more kind of punky, kind of new wave, and this album is not. It's more kind of straightforward, kind of old school Alice. Maybe he was coming out of it or he was fucking dying, one or the other. This was the last gasp, but I know he didn't tour on this fucking album because he was a fucking disaster, and I know he doesn't remember this fucking album, and most people don't, but out of the Blackout, those 4 Blackout albums, I fucking enjoyed this album, and it's a trip, and it's actually really fucking good. It's fucking inspired. The fucking lyrics aren't dumb. It's not these little 2-minute say crazy shit and bang, 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 some janky fucking, NAP keyboards in it. It's not like that. It's actually a cool fucking album. So, DaDa is number 11. Number 10. Number 10, we're going to go 1987 to a little album called Raise Your Fist and Yell. This is back when he had Kane Roberts, Mr. John Rambo, and Kip Winger playing bass in his band. Yeah, Kip Winger, bass player for Alice fucking Cooper. This is an underrated fucking album. There's some fucking brilliant songs on here. If I could fucking find the motherfucker. Whoa! Opens up with Freedom. It's got Lock Me Up. It's got Step on You. Prince of Darkness is. Also love the fucking Megadeth Prince of Darkness too. But Prince of Darkness is fucking awesome, and it's got fucking Chop Chop Chop. And it's got Roses on Fucking White Lace, which is fucking awesome. Such a good fucking song. This is a fucking solid ass 80s fucking Alice Cooper album. The only one I rated higher was Constrictor. This is a fucking solid fucking album, man. This is just rock, fucking metal, almost metal, kind of metally rock, and it's just fucking Alice Cooper. It's fucking cool. I'm pretty sure this is the tour I saw on where they had, I can't remember who fucking opened, but I remember like, this is where they had like the half arena, like the stage was pushed up, so like just the seat, like we had lower level and we had killer seats because the fucking stage was so close, and it was fucking like, what the fuck? That was the only time I ever saw him do that, or that was the only show that I saw that was not important enough to actually do that. So that was kind of crazy. Even fucking Quiet Riot had a full fucking arena. So Alice, but yeah, he's Kane Roberts with his machine gun guitar. He was kind of bullshit, but like this is a fun fucking album, man. I love it. So raise your fist and yell. Number 9. This is the album that Alice Cooper actually got their shit together. 1971, Love It to Death. Love It to Death. And it's funny because the album cover overs got banned because Alice is on the cover and he sticks his finger through the fly in his pants. And everybody thought like he had, like his dick was hanging out, which you're like, well, that's his finger. I don't know. I was probably coked out of his mind. Maybe his dick was as big as his finger. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, he's all shoving his finger through his fly, and that almost got banned. Ooh. This was the first Alice Cooper album. It's the third Alice Cooper album, but this is the first Alice Cooper album where it felt like a fucking Alice Cooper band album. It's got I'm 18. I'm 18! It's got a Long Way to Go. It's got Black Juju. It's got Is It My Body? It's got Hallowed Be Thy Name on it. It's a fucking good album. This is where Alice Cooper started building momentum. This is where, like, the next 3 albums are probably their best fucking albums, period. I don't know what happened between... Well, you heard a little bit of it on fucking... Easy Action. You heard a little bit of it. You didn't hear any of it on the fucking first album. The first album, you were just like, it's fucking Frank Zappa album. But you heard a little bit of it on Easy Action, and this is kind of the culmination of where, like, Alice Cooper Band finally figured out what the fuck they were going to do, and it worked, and it was fucking good, and we loved it. So, Love It to Death, number 9. Number 8. I'm going to go 2001 Dragon Town now. Dragon Town. Oh. In Dragon Town. Opens up with Trigger Man. It's got the title track, Dragon Town. It's got Sex, Death, and Money. I love that fucking song. It's so good. Sex, Death, and Money. I can't fucking sing it because my fucking voice is shit today. Or he's like, I was so... And I watched for 3 hours. He watched for 3 hours. He was so stunned, but he watched for 3 hours. It's got Fantasy Man on it. What else? Every Woman Has a Name. That's a cool song. This is a fucking heavy fucking album. And so is the one that preceded it, Brutal Planet. Those two albums are probably like Alice Cooper's heaviest fucking albums ever. Which, like I said, I remember when I got these albums, these were the albums that I was pleasantly fucking surprised. As Ryan Roxy as the guitar player and Greg Smith as the bass player. We also have Tim Pierce on here playing guitar. A bunch of fucking people. Kenny Aronoff played fucking drums. Oh. No. Okay. Did not know that. Is that fucking John Mellencamp's fucking drummer? It certainly fucking is. Yeah, so it's a trippy album, but for those guys, fuck, this is a heavy fucking album, and it's fucking, there's songs on it that are catchy, and that's what I like about Alice, man. It's nice to get an Alice album, and one, it's so fucking heavy. Now, I'm not a huge, bludgeon me to death, heavy fucking, I don't like to listen to like Black Sabbath 13, because it sounds like fucking sludge doom shit to me, but but this was, it fucking worked. Some fucking good songs, some fucking catchy fucking songs. I don't even know who the fuck wrote. Let's see. All tracks written by Alice Cooper and Bob Marriott. So, okay. Who's Bob Marriott? Oh, he's a record producer. Did he produce the fucking album? He sure did. So he wrote all the songs with his producer. How fucking cool is that? Hey, but some of these songs worked. I really like this fucking album. For a later fucking Alice Cooper album, early 2000, it's fucking awesome. Number 7, I'm going to go Constrictor from 1986. This was the Resurrection album. This was the album that, is Alice Cooper dead? We all thought he was fucking dead, or we just didn't give a fuck. And then this album came out. And it had Teenage Frankenstein, which is a great fucking song. It has Life and Death of the Party. It has Simple Disobedience, which is a fucking great song. The World Needs Guts. It's a good fucking song. And then it had He's Back. The Man Behind the Mask. And he crawled out of his grave. 1986, fucking the return of Jason Voorhees, right? Music video, MTV. This was fucking cool Alice Cooper, man. This was, where's Alice Cooper been? Oh, I thought he was dead. No, he's not dead. He's actually back. Beau Hill actually produced this, and Michael Wagner. Beau Hill, right? We all know. We all know Beau Hill came from Rat, right? With this album had Kane Roberts, had Kip Winger on it. Beau Hill did backing vocals. Well, good for fucking him, right? Tom Kelly did backing vocals on He's Back. The Man Behind the Mask. He played fucking drums on this motherfucking album. David Rosenberg. Anyways, this is a fucking cool. This was the return of Alice Cooper. This was Alice Cooper back from the dead. This was the last time you saw Alice Cooper. He was on like the back of a fucking milk carton, right? Where he was on the Tom Schneider show and he looked like he was fucking dying of AIDS or something. And then all of a sudden Alice came back. He looked decent. He had the boa constrictor. Had the fucking Alice Cooper paint slashed down his fucking eyes. And all of a sudden you were like, oh, holy fuck. He fucking survived that. And he looked good. He fucking found his shit. Got mentally fucking stable and got off fucking crack cocaine and fucking booze and whatever the fuck else he was on. And this is a fucking solid album. This was like a breath of fresh air for Alice Cooper. So number 7, Constrictor. Number 6, a lot of people pick this as their favorite, and okay, that's cool. It's not my favorite. 1975, Welcome to My Nightmare. It was the first album that Alice did as Alice Cooper. This was no longer the Alice Cooper band. It was Alice Cooper, the star. It's got Welcome to My Nightmare. It's got Only Women Bleed. It's got Cold Ethel. It's got The Black Widow, which has got Vincent Price in it. That's not really one of my favorite songs, though, because I know it has Vincent Price in it, and it's fucking cool, and it's from 1975, so it's, like, nostalgic. But at the same time, I hate songs where people are talking in the middle of the fucking songs, even if it's Vincent Price. Unless it's fucking Thriller where he's doing a fucking, like, monologue, you know. This one, he's talking throughout the whole fucking song. This was a cool album. It was a concept album. It was a little bit vaudeville. Little kind of departure of what Alice Cooper, you know, Alice Cooper wanted to be the, you know, he thought he was the man, you know, so he wanted to be the center point of attention. So, you know, it was kind of, if you watch some of the stuff from around this era with him, it was really cheeseball. So, but it's a classic album. Everybody fucking seems to, you know, it's number 5 or number 6. So it's in my top 10. Anything in my top 10 is fucking stellar. It's cool. It's a good album. I'll listen to it anytime. Concept album about Steven and his fucked up, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's got Department of Youth on it. Yeah, it's just, to me, like, not one of my favorites. Devil's Food, you know, it's not one of my favorites, but it's still a fucking great album. So, Welcome to My Nightmare, 1975. That's going to be number 6. Number 5 is actually going to be the other really fucking heavy fucking album. And it's 2000's Brutal Planet. And it's got Phil X on it. I hung out with Phil X. Phil X is the most craziest motherfucker in the planet, dude. He's so fucking fun. I have pictures of him, I'll show him. But that guy, he's in like Bon Jovi now, right? He's a phenomenal fucking guitar player. Eric Singer's on drums. Ryan Roxy's still playing guitar. Alice Cooper, of course, is singing. Somebody named China played guitar. I don't know who the fuck that was. But, and then Bob Murray, Bob Marlette played guitars too. So this is where Alice, like, what? All of a sudden he started having 5 guitar players in his fucking band? I don't fucking know. But Phil X is amazing. Yeah, and he's officially in Bon Jovi, which for him, okay, that's weird. Ryan Roxy played with Slash's Snake Pit. This album is fucking heavy as fuck. And it's fucking awesome. I fucking love it. It's number 5, Brutal fucking Planet. Jesus, this album just comes out of the gate and just rolls over you. Fucking Brutal Planet, Wicked Young Man is fucking genius. He's like, I got blueprints of the school. Like, it's kind of Alice's take on like, hey, stop blaming music and video games and all this shit. This kid's just fucked up. It's just wicked. It's got Sanctuary. It's got Blow Me a Kiss. It's got Pick Up the Bones. It's got Pessimistic. And it's the Little Things. This is a fucking great album. It's super heavy. It's fucking awesome. And Fucking, like I said, this was one of those albums where I put it on and I was like, this is fucking Alice Cooper? This is fucking awesome. So, Brutal Planet, number 5. Number 4. We're going to go 1976. We're going to go Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Another concept album. Alice likes his concept albums. The other day when I was talking about Queensryche and I was talking about name all the concept albums, and then I just drew a fucking blank. You know? Alice owns like what, 1, 2. He has at least 4. Some people could say 5. There's, some people think School's Out's a fucking concept album. I mean, but Alice himself has like 5 or 6 fucking concept albums. Jesus Christ. Maybe 7. Fuck, DaDa is it? He doesn't even know. So this has got Go to Hell. It's got I Never Cry. It's got Give the Kid a Break. It's got Guilty on it. It's got fucking Wish You Were Here. This is a fucking great album. I love it. Well, of course, it's number 4, right? This is Alice Cooper, and this is right after Welcome to My Nightmare, and it's better than Welcome to My Nightmare. So he was getting better, or he was surrounding himself with better people. But this is definitely, for me, it's better than Welcome to My Nightmare. Who was it? Bob Ezrin, of course. Yeah, Dick Wagner. He wrote a lot of songs with Dick Wagner was playing guitars. Steve Hunter was playing on here. Bob Ezrin played keyboards. Alan Schwartzberg played Tony Levin. Tony Levin played bass on this album. He played fucking King Crimson and fucking Peter Gabriel. Jesus. And Alice Cooper. I wonder if that's on his resume. This is a fucking great album. Alice Cooper Goes Down. It's got that green cover where he's just talking. You're like, whoa. Alice Cooper Goes Down. Number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go From the Inside. The best Elton John album that Elton John wasn't on. This is Alice's experiences being tossed into a fucking, mental institution. Where did they throw him in? A New York asylum. I wonder if it was fucking Bellevue. They don't really fucking say. But it had Bernie Taupin on it. It had Davy Johnstone, and it had Dee Murray from fucking Elton John's group. All had a part in this album. Dick Wagner played lead guitar. This is a fucking great album. Starts out from the inside, I'm in the inside looking out. It's a fucking great song. The Quiet Room, it's got Nurse Rosetta, it's got Millie and Billy, it's got Sirius, How You Gonna See Me Now, it's got Jackknife Johnny. These were like people that supposedly Alice kind of saw in the fucking crazy house with him. Really bad people. And like I said, this is back in the day, man. They didn't have fucking Betty Ford. They didn't have these cush little fucking drying out facilities in Aruba. They had hey, throw him the fucking Bellevue with a bunch of fucking criminally insane lunatics. Woo! But I guess it didn't work because after this, Alice went on a fucking bender for about 5 fucking years. And then disappeared off the face of the planet for almost 8 fucking years. And then 86, when Constrictor came out, we actually figured out that Alice was still alive and not really animatronic. So that's number 3, From the Inside. I'm on the inside looking out. Number 2, The other album from 1971, right? Yep. Love It to Death came out beginning of the year or earlier in the year, and then towards the end of the year, Killer came out, and Killer is number 2. Killer is fucking genius. Killer's fucking, it's got Under My Wheels. It's got Be My Lover. It's got fucking Halo of Flies. Jesus Christ. It's got Desperado. It's got Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. It's got fucking Dead Babies. And it's got the title track. The only fucking song that didn't fucking blow me away was You Drive Me Nervous. Other than that, this fucking album is fucking genius. This is the fourth Alice Cooper album. This is where all fucking cylinders are firing. This fucking Alice Cooper at its finest, dude. Well, except for one more album. Let's get to it. We all know what it is, right? My favorite Alice Cooper album of all time is $1 Billion Babies from 1973. Now, it was weird because they came out with Killer, which was fucking amazing, and then they kind of come out in 72 with School's Out, and that, to me, was a letdown. And that happens a lot of times where these guys come out with these killer fucking albums, and there's like a letdown. There's like, it's like the Super Bowl hangover, you know? Like, your team wins the Super Bowl, and then the next year just gets stomped like narcs at a biker rally, you know? And then the following year, they pick the pieces back up and do it again. And that's fucking $1 Billion Babies. To me, it's like, Killer is so close to being their perfect album. And $1 Billion Babies is too. I mean, they're both like fucking phenomenal, but there's more songs. There are more songs. That green album looked like a wallet, you know, skull, right? A little baby, and looked like it was made out of green snakeskin. It's got Hello Hooray. It's got Raped and Freezing, which is really funny. Some of these songs, these fucked up songs that Alice came up with, like lyrically, you're just like, what the fuck? It's got Elected. It's got $1 Billion Babies. It's got Unfinished Sweet. It's got No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's got Generation Landslide. It's got Sick Things on it. And it's got the last song, which is about necrophilia, because it's Alice Cooper. Oh, I Love the Dead. Yeah, how do you think that went over in 1973? Do you think there was like some investigation going on? Like, Joe, open the file on Alice Cooper. I think he's having sex with dead people. That's my fucking Alice Cooper list. I have a lot of best ofs and weird shit, you know, but I don't really have any like live. I don't really have any live albums from Alice. I have a ton of like best ofs. But that's my fucking Alice Cooper. So let's go down the list real quick. Number 28 was Pretty's For You, that opening debut on Frank Zappa's label that was really Frank Zappa-y and not really Alice Cooper-y. And that was kind of like, the band was more around to be shocking than they were to be like musicians. And they kind of... Then you got Easy Actions, number 27. And that was where you got a little glimmer of what Alice Cooper would become. 26 is Zipper Catch a Skin. Alice is cracked out of his fucking skull. Number 5, Muscle of Love, which is that kind of letdown end of fucking Alice Cooper Band album where Glenn Buxton didn't play on it. Number 24 is Trash, and it's trash. It's fucking corporate, bloated bullshit, MTV Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, fucking bullshit. Gotta do an Aerosmith fucking. I'll do an Aerosmith one, yeah. Back when Aerosmith was real. Number 23 was The Eyes of Alice Cooper. Just a solid mid-level fucking Alice Cooper album. Same with number 22, Dirty Diamonds from 2005. It's just a solid, straightforward Alice Cooper album. Nothing awesome, but nothing terrible. Number 21 was Flush the Passion, where Alice, in 1980 decided he wanted to, one, smoke crack, and two, go punk / new wave. Yep. Number 20 is the follow-up of Special Forces, where Alice is just wrecked. Number 19 is Detroit Stories from this year. It's a cool album. Got a lot of good stuff on it. It's fun to listen to. Number 18, we're going to go Whiskey and Lace, where Alice is a detective from 1932. Number 17, Welcome to My Nightmare, the follow-up to Welcome to My Nightmare, with What Baby Wants, Baby Gets. Yeah. Number 16, The Last Temptation, which is really the follow-up to Welcome to My Nightmare with Steven. So, has some Chris Cornell on there. It's pretty cool. It's got some good stuff on it. Definitely listen to that. Number 15, Along Came a Spider. Got a little Aussie track going on there. Wake Up the Dead. Yeah, dig it. It's a cool concept album about a serial killer named Spider, and it's pretty fucking wicked and evil. Vengeance is mine. That's a fucking great song. Number 14, Paranormalt. Woo! Out of the later fucking Alice Cooper albums, the most solid fucking later Alice Cooper albums of the last 10 years. So it's fucking awesome. And it does have. Who's it have on it? It has Neil Smith on it, and it has Dennis Dunaway. And I want to see, is Michael Bruce on it? I think so. Anyway, it's got the guys who are left alive, because we all know Glenn Buxton's dead, but the guys left over from the Alice Cooper band, they play on a couple of songs and wrote a couple of songs. And Bob Ezrin, Yeah! Number 13 is School's Out Forever. School's Out. Number 12, Feed My Frankenstein. We got Hey Stoopid with fucking Joe Satriani slathered all over this fucking Alice Cooper album. Joe Satriani. Wow. Number 11 is DaDa, which would mark the end of the Blackout albums. And go listen to it. If you do nothing from watching this, go out and listen to fucking DaDa at least. It's fucking cool. Number 10, we got Raise Your Fist. Little Kane Roberts, Kip Winger going on there. Such a good fucking album. It's one of those albums that you kind of forget about. But dude, Roses on White Lace is brilliant. Prince of Darkness, Lock Me Up, Step on You. It's a good album. Go find it and listen to it. It's got that weird thing where Alice's face is in the guy's. It's really stupid. I think that's kind of like some of the album covers kind of detract, but that's a fucking great album. Number 9 is Love It to Death. And I'm 18. This is where the Alice Cooper band finally found their way and got away from the Frank Zappa nonsense that they were trying to do. Oh yeah, number 8 is Dragon Town with I sat for 3 hours, I was totally offended, or whatever. It's totally funny. Fucking Sex, Death, and Money. Sex, Death, and Money. It's such a good song. Heavy, heavy, heavy fucking album. It's fucking great. Number 7 is Constrictor with the fucking Jason Voorhees song on it. Jesus, he's back. The man behind the mask. And he crawled out of his grave. Because was this? I'm not sure. Was this the? Because Friday the 13th, when we were kids, you know, I used to hang out with George because George is 3 years older than me, and we would go and see like every fucking Friday the 13th movie every year. When one would come out, we would go see it. And I can remember seeing. We didn't see the first one. So we were like 10, you know. It's like 1980, right, or 81. I remember seeing the second one. I remember seeing the third one was in 3D. I remember seeing that one. And it wasn't Jason. It was the ambulance driver, remember? So the first one was his mom. The second one was actually Jason. The third one was fucking the ambulance driver. The fourth one is the one with Corey Feldman. And it was Jason. And then he kills him, right? And he's like, and his mask falls off and his face is all, ooh. And then the fifth one was supposed to be him grown up, Corey Feldman's character. And so you were like, and it was like the doctor or something. And then the sixth one was the return. And if you remember from the show, Welcome Back, Kotter, fucking Horseshack, he's the one that like fell down and they were in the graveyard. He was carrying this like, call him a pike pole, you know, where you use it to break up asphalt. It's just a big metal fucking pole with kind of like a pointed end. And he's carrying one of those and he falls down and it stabs in Jason's grave and then lightning strikes and Jason comes back from the dead. And then after that, he's unstoppable because he's fucking immortal. But so Arnold Horseshack's the one that fucking raised Jason Voorhees from the dead. But I'm pretty sure that this is the song for that. I want to say. And then after that, I can't even remember. Do y'all remember 7? I don't know. I think we stopped at some point because we were old enough to like be interested in girls by that point. You know, we didn't. Jeez, Voorhees. But yeah, Constrictor with Jason Voorhees. Number 6 is Welcome to My Nightmare. No, with Vincent Price, you know, with the Black Widow. The Black Widow is very interesting, you know. Boop, 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 boop. Number 5 is Brutal Planet. Fuck. Such a heavy, great fucking album. Number 4, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Number 3, From the Inside Looking Out. That's all I can remember. I mean, remember the song, but that's all I remember. Anyways, Bernie Taupin wrote, you know. Number 2 is Killer. Such a great album. And number 1 is $1 Billion Babies. $1 Billion Babies. Yes. So that's my Alice Cooper fucking list. I know it's probably long as fuck because that was a lot of albums. But hey, everybody stay metal and go listen to some fucking Alice Cooper. And fucking subscribe. Put fucking comments and that kind of shit. But go listen to Alice Cooper. Definitely for sure. Everybody stay metal. Yeah.